Welcome back. I'm going to demonstrate today sugaring. Sugaring is another type of hair removal method. As we learned in our last session, there are several ways of epilation. This one happens to be sugaring. This one is an organic product. It is made from sugar, water, and lemon juice. So if you were to get some in your mouth, which I would recommend you don't, it's not going to harm you. Sugaring is really good for candidates who have extremely sensitive skin, who is not a candidate for waxing due to oversensitivity. Again, this one is going to be really great for that client who has sensitive skin and wants hair removal. I chose Alexandria Professionals. This one is one of the very first companies that came out with sugaring. You do have to get certified through the company in order to use their products. We have their wax warmer. This wax warmer is digital. It's already set preheated at 104 Fahrenheit. That sounds hot, but actually it's not as hot as it would be when we're actually doing waxing. It's a little bit on a cooler temperature. This mirrors the body temperature. Even though it reads at 104, it's not really 104. The temperature on the pot likes to be at 104. It turns off and just keeps it at a regular temperature, which is really nice. We have our preset. Our preset is going to be your cleanser, just like we would do with any other type of hair removal process. We want to cleanse and we want to sanitize the area that we'll be working on. Then we have our dry powder. You need to use the powder to pick up any moisture that was left on the skin from the preset. Then we have our tonic, which would be afterwards. This has hyaluronic acid, it has lactic acid, it has some myrrh. It really hydrates the skin after you've done your hair removal. Then we have our lotion. These are the steps. They're in order for you. Now each company is going to be slightly different. This is how Alexandria has their setup. This is sugar paste, and it is just a really gooey, kind of thick honey type of product material wise. We do wear a glove. Just like anything else, you need to be gloved and you need to be masked. I recommend you pull your hair back as well in case your hair is long and it falls into the paste. You'll be pulling that out of your hair. The nice thing about sugaring is if it does leave any residue, you can take a nice warm towel from your cubby and lay it on and wipe it off. It just dissolves that easily. I'm going to go ahead and sanitize my hands right now. I'm going to go ahead and put on my glove. Sometimes the gloves are going to be difficult to get in when your hand is still a little damp from the hand sanitizer. Just blow in your glove and blow it up a little bit like a balloon. That will help loosen it up and help you get into your glove. I chose small. I like my gloves to be really tight. You have to have gloves on today. It is a law. This is also something that I like about Alexandria. They've been doing this gloved routine for many years. Just like waxing, we always need to protect ourselves and our guests, and we are recommended to wear gloves. So if you see someone who's sugaring without a glove, I would not recommend that you would follow that style. Now, with the sugar, I'm going to pull out a big, I'm jumping ahead. Let's go ahead and do our cleanse. It's just a spray. You want to go ahead and rub that in. Now, I've been growing my hair out for at least a month, so I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there is definitely some hair in here. Now that I've worked that in, I'm going to go ahead and take my powder. This is called the dry powder, and it doesn't need a lot. You just need a sprinkle. This is going to absorb any moisture that's left on the skin. See how light of a sprinkle that I'm doing? This I'm going to go ahead now and rub all over the leg. I'm going to go ahead and sanitize my glove because I did touch some bottles, and I just want to make sure that there is no cross-contamination. And plus I'm going to be going into my sugar. This is my own personal use, so I would recommend if you did so, I would go ahead and change your gloves before going into your sugar. But being this is a personal pot of mine, I'm not re-gloving because I definitely want to preserve my gloves. However, like I said, ladies, go ahead and re-glove. I'm going to go ahead and take 2 fingers and I'm going to just pull out, as you can see how thick it is. I'm going to pull out a good amount. You're going to go ahead and just twist around until you break the string. Now, with honey, it is definitely, I'm sorry, sugar, it looks like honey. You do want to knead it slightly. It is ooey and gooey, and you want to try and keep it as much as you can and the bottom in your fingertips. And you just want to keep working it like taffy. Now you can feel it when you're touching it. There is no heat to it at all. But if you're questioning the heat, then yes, please go ahead. And it is recommended that you test your sugar before you lay it on your guest. And by doing so, you would just take a smaller piece and go ahead like you would with your wax, is that you would go ahead across on your wrist and you would test it. This is a stripless type of epilation. As you can see, it's got a beautiful golden color and it's somewhat transparent. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and try and get this down here. So a different technique than waxing. Waxing is that you go with the hair growth and pull against. Sugaring is you're going to go against. You're going to go ahead and lay that ball there. You're going to go up against the hair growth. And you're going to use those fingers and you're just going to pull it up. Keep pulling it up. You do apply some pressure. And then you're going to flick with the growth. And it pulls it all up. I will show you that again. That's the nice thing about sugaring. You can use the same hunk of sugar until it's not sticky any longer, or it gets more opaque. Then you would know that you have, because it does pull up some dead skin and it will turn white. Again, you're going to just drop it on there. You're going to apply your pressure by bringing it up against the hair growth and then flicking off with the hair growth. Now you can see I'm starting to get it kind of messy because now it's getting up in the upper part of my fingers. That's all right. I'm just going to keep working with the same ball of sugar, moving over to another side of my pass. The nice thing about sugaring as well, as ladies and gentlemen, is that you can use the sugaring in the same spot over and over again. Because it's really not sticking to the skin. It's only sticking to the hair. Now, if it gets to be the point where you can't move your fingers or anything, then yes, go ahead and just slip this whole glove off inside out. It will take the sugar with you and re-sanitize your hand and put on a new glove. I'm going to go ahead and let that fall down. As you can see, it's still going to go ahead and fall down. So I can get a control of that hunk again. Can you see the color turning a little bit more on the whiter side now? It's picking up powder as well. So that's also part of the color, but this is also going to be a little bit of that dead skin up on the top. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and drag it up. Ladies and gentlemen, you do have to apply pressure. It's not very comfortable, but your guests, as soon as they get more familiar with sugaring, see, I got stuck because I slowed down. It's not gonna be as painful, just like it is with waxing. If you have guests that shave in between, they're gonna feel it more. The less they shave and just keep coming in with that longer hair, it's not going to be as sensitive because the hair becomes a little finer as it grows out from epilation. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up. It is recommended you press 3 times before flicking. Now, have you noticed I'm not holding the skin tautly? That is only because I'm doing this myself and I'm angling my foot down. So as I angle my foot down, it's causing this area to be tight like a drum. Now, yes, you would want to go ahead and make sure the skin was held tautly. I'm just doing myself, so it's a little bit different. Now, you can see I'm starting to lose my gloves because see how they're stretching? It's about time for me to change. You will go through more gloves because periodically you'll get a hole, and that's because of the pressure you're pressing on with this, you know, the pressure that you're dragging up against the hair growth. It is flicking. So you're flicking, like when you're pulling off the wax strip and we're going parallel to the skin, you're doing the same thing with sugaring. You're going with a parallel to the skin. You're not lifting up. You're flicking like you would be pulling off a wax strip. Same thing. I'll show you one more time here. I'm just gonna keep dragging it up. You can see how I'm bending my hand. I'm starting this direction, which is about almost like a 45, and bending over, just like with waxing, you would do a 45. If you get stuck, come pull out and flick. Pick up your rest of your leftovers, if there is any, and you can just pick it up. Now, can you see the color, how it's turned white now? Most of that is powder, yes. However, there is going to be some dead skin in there as well. Even though sugar doesn't stick to the skin like our wax does, and I'm talking soft wax, ladies, I'm not talking hard wax. Now, I'm purposely kind of letting it get gummy in between my fingers just to show you that it is a skill. It does take practice. It does take practice to keep everything down at in the balls of your fingertips. And if it gets to the point where it is just too hard for you to control, all you have to do is pull that off, just like that. And your wax is inside, except for I have a little bit of a tear. Your wax will be inside your glove, keeping your waistband, or your waistband, excuse me, clean as well, because now it's not going to stick to the liner. And then you would toss that in your receptacle. Go ahead and sanitize your hands once again. These are the Alexandria gloves. You can use any glove. This is just the ones that they recommended. Now you would do the fronts of their legs just like you would do with waxing. The whole idea is the same, it's just a different technique. I'm gonna go ahead and sanitize my hand, my gloved hand. I'm gonna go back in and pick up another. You always want to change your glove if you're going to go back in, because you don't want to cross-contaminate your tub, just like we would with waxing. I'm keeping the ball down in the bottoms of my fingertips, I'm sorry. And I'm gonna go ahead and, I'm trying to get a hold of my, go ahead and knead it slightly. You're kneading it because you're getting if there's any oxygen in it, which there isn't, but just in case there is, you're just kneading it. You're also making it a little bit pliable, and you're warming it up just slightly with your own temperature of your body heat, and it makes it a little bit easier to move around. I'm going to slightly bend my leg, or not bend, but tilt my leg over. These are spider veins right here. I'm going to avoid that just like you would with waxing. I'm going to lay my sugar down as soon as it comes down to the balls of my fingers. You can see that. I'm going to press it on. Just let it sit there, get all that down there. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. I'm going to slightly lift, drag, pressing up 3 times, and flick. Coming over slightly over. Now, if your leg had any oil, which see right here, it's not wanting to stick, or lotion, it's not sticking. And I did put moisturizer on earlier. So if that's the case, just pause what you're doing, throw your your sugar gloved away, go ahead and apply some more Precept, put some more powder, and you can go ahead and go right back into that space. But you can see how it won't stick on the areas that was not pre-treated. Beautiful. So that's sugaring. You can sugar just about everything on any parts of the body. You do have some contraindications, like I said. So when you're doing your consultation, you're going to find out if there's any body piercing, any contraindications, open lesions, herpes, that type of stuff. That's all going to be the same, and it's mostly all universal when it comes to hair removal. You can even wax eyebrows. You can buy these little rubber finger cots, and you can do eyebrows, lip, face. Little more skill involved. I still like to use my soft wax when it comes to the eyebrows, because again, my finger, I don't want to get too close to the hair that they don't want removed. But yes, you can get very skilled at using sugar to remove hair on the face. This is a sticky type of epilation, sugaring. You cannot go into the nose, and you cannot go into the ear. It all has to be something that is surface that you can see. You can go over the same area several times to get that stubborn hair. I'm going to come up a little closer to the knee. I'm holding my knee cap, the skin, I'm holding it slightly back. You can have the knee bent as well if it's easier for you. But what's so nice, it just molds around the curves. So I'm getting stuck. If you get stuck, that's all right. Just pause, take a moment, drag it up, and flick. and it will release. You can see that the paste is starting to get more on the creamier side. Oops, see, I'm getting stuck. There we go. Quite a different color from when we first started. I'm going to go ahead and turn my leg a little further. I'm going to come over to the side here. Going to drag it up. I'm starting to lose my glove. I think I'm going to order extra small next time. There we go, ladies. This is sugaring. So let's go ahead after this video. Let's discuss any questions that you might have. And I hope you enjoyed this demonstration of hair removal with sugar paste. Thank you.